Okay, well, thank you very much. Good afternoon to each and every one of you, mga kaibigan ko, kababayan ko dyan sa Pilipinas, dito sa Malaysia, and saan-saan pa po lugar sa mundo. Ito po, si Nico Fabian, once again, nandito sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico for the March 21 na edition natin po. May malungkot na balita, narinig natin po dyan sa Pilipinas yesterday, and during this, sabihin natin, ang Senate committee hearing tungkol sa warrant of arrest ni Tatay Digong po, si Amy Marcos. Senator Amy Marcos was is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, and they conducted, as earlier announced, ang investigation regarding whether constitutional or violate ba any rights ni Tatay Digong when he was turned over to ICC. He was arrested, served ang warrant of arrest last March 11, and yun po ang issue ngayon, whether it was legal or illegal po ang warrant of arrest ni Tatay Digong, and of course the bringing in ang proceedings, ang procedure in bringing him in doon po sa Netherlands under the custody of the International Criminal Court. Now, I will show some footages sa inyo po tungkol sa committee hearing yesterday dyan sa Senate, sa Senate dyan sa Pilipinas. It was a long hearing, and I won't be able to give you, sabihin natin lahat ang mga proceedings during the hearing, but I will share with you some of the footages on what really happened during the hearing po, during the hearing on Tatay Digong's arrest or serving of the arrest warrant last March 11 po. So, as what I said, may malungkot na balita tayo po, because no other than si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte po, sinabi na niya na mahirap po ibalik si Tatay Digong po sa Pilipinas now that Tatay Digong is now under the custody of the ICC or International Criminal Court po, and of course awaiting for the pre-trial niya po, and scheduled dito po. Ang first is scheduled on September 23rd pa po, September 23rd. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's start with this footages po. I will share with you ang footage, some segment ng hearing ng Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs. Nandito po ang footage po. Let's listen to this footage. Si Amy Marcos questioning, asking some question to clarify what really happened during the arrest warrant served to Tatay Digong po dyan sa Manila last March 11. Okay, let's listen to this. Hold on, let's listen to this. Sandali. Alright.
Pero hindi rin tayo magko-cooperate. Ba't niya sinabi yun? Biglang iba na ang tono, biglang nagbago. Kayo nga nagsabi, dapat talaga nagbabago ang palaisipan ng tao.
Ganun po talaga dapat po. Hindi natin itataga sa pato ang pwede ko maging dito.
Siyempre natututo tayo sa
Oo, natatagdahan po tayo. Oo.
Tama. So, ang ibig sabihin, ang Pangulo nagbago rin ang palaisipan.
Marahil po.
So, ang sa kanya, may jurisdiction na pala.
Hindi ko pwede sabihin ang state of mind niya.
Opo.
Pero sinasabi ko lang, bilang tao, lahat po tayo pwede magbago ang pag-iisip.
Hindi ko naman hinihingi yung state of mind po. Ang tinatanong ko lang, maliwanag naman yung statement na sinabi niya na pwede tayong magpapasok ng ICC sa ating bansa. Pwera lang kapag illegal ang ginagawa. Tama?
Hindi mo natin sinasabing imbitado sila dito. Hindi mo natin sinasabi na haharapin natin sila. Ngunit ang tao mo ay labas-pasok sa Pilipinas.
Pero hindi
tayo po ay mga being very hospitable people, we welcome all people who want to partake of the beauty of our country. Ayun po yung ating pinag-uusapan dito.
Pero hindi po ba yung mas maagang mga statement, yung mga unang statement, talagang hindi daw siya lalahok sa anumang investigasyon. Ngayon, hahayaan lang niya. Tama po.
Marahil po, marahil.
nagbago.
Sabi ko nga ho,
Nagbabago naman nga.
nagbabago naman ang pagtingin natin lahat sa buhay. Hindi naman po ang pagtingin natin nung tayo 20 anyos at ngayon ay pareho pa rin.
Sana naman
Na tumatanda rin po tayo, natututo rin po tayo.
So do you mean to tell me that after saying 100 times that the ICC has no jurisdiction, the President at the 101st time changed his mind and determined that there was somehow some kind of jurisdiction that allowed them to come here and investigate?
I cannot comment on his state of mind when he said that.
I don't think it's a question of state of mind, sir. It's statements.
His statement will speak for itself.
When did the executive then change his mind? Given that we are admitting he changed his mind, at least to some degree.
Well, I cannot agree to the question, ma'am, is very vague, if you ask me.
Hindi, nagbago, di ba? Nung una, sabi niya talagang haharangan niya. Ang
As I said earlier, ma'am,
korte.
I cannot-
Tapos biglang sinabi na bukas ang Pilipinas. Kung nag-iimbestiga sila, papasukin. Pwera lang pag may ginagawang illegal o may krimen.
I can say
Malaki
that
pagbabago.
hindi ko pwede magkomento sa state of mind niya. Kung paano ho nag-iisip ang
Hindi ko
Pangulo,
naman
hindi pa ako
tinatanong kung
magkomento.
galit. Wala naman akong tinatanong kung masaya. Yun ang state of mind. Ang tinatanong ko, dun sa sinabi, hindi ba maliwanag na nag-iba?
Sabi ko nga ho, lahat tayo nagbabago ng pag-iisip sa pagdaan po ng panahon.
Okay.
Tayo po natututo naman ng unti-unti at nauunawaan natin ng gusto ang
kaya
mga
nga.
pangyayari sa paligid natin.
Kung aaminin natin na nagbago ang pag-iisip, bakit? At kailan nagbago yung pag-iisip natin tungkol sa jurisdiction ng ICC? Bakit? At meron bang dahilan? Baka may alam ang DND, baka may alam ang NSC para maintindihan natin kung saan na tayo ngayon. Kasi tayo ay nag-iimbestiga in aid of legislation. Gusto ko malaman saan ba tayo patungo. Ano na ba ngayon? Palibasa, eto nga, admitido natin, nagbago. Kung nagbago, saan na tayo ngayon?
Siguro po yung pag-unawa po ng ICC jurisdiction. Kasi nung nag-a-appeal na pa tayo sa ICC, na sinasabi natin na hindi tayo sakalaw dito. Marahil yung isang pag-iisip natin sa katotohanan ng hinahabol ng ICC ay hindi naman bansa, ngunit individual. Marahil yun po yung pag-unawa na nagbago sa ating lahat. Kasi hindi naman po estado natin ang hinihimok ng ICC, kundi po yung mga individual dito na nagkasala at yung naging biktima po ng mga krimen at ng mga pamilya po ng mga biktima ng mga pagpatay ng panahon na yun.
Okay. At sabihin natin may limited cooperation sa ICC. Sabihin natin, nung 13 November, si ASEC ES Bersamin pala, ay nagsabi that if the ICC refers the process to Interpol, which may then transmit a red notice to the Philippines, the government will feel obliged to consider the red notice. Parang may ganon, may statement ba dyan? Yung kay ES Bersamin.
Alala ko po yung statement na yun.
Ba naalala po
Opo,
niya?
opo.
Oo. So, yung pagbabago ay malinaw. Kasi pati si Executive Secretary, diniin na nagbago nga talaga. Tama po ba? Kasi sabi niya, kapag may pulang notisya,
Marahil mo dahil ito sa mga karanasan natin sa mga nakaraang buwan na tumutulong po ang Interpol sa ating bansa. Kaya ang pag-aalam natin sa Interpol ay ganun-ganun na lamang. Hindi po natin pinababayaan na magkasamaan ng loob sa Interpol sapagkat sila po yung ating inaasahan sa maraming pagkakataon.
tama, talagang lumalahok tayo at umaasa sa Interpol. Ngayon, nung January, kayo po nagsalita at tatanungin ko kung tama po ba to. At sinabi na the Marcos administration ay uupo kasama na ng ICC. Talagang uupuan na natin to discuss certain areas of cooperation. So, hindi na no cooperation, no blocking, no limit. At tatalakayin ang ibang mga areas kung pwede, kung saan pwede makipagkaisa. Tama ba yun?
Hindi ko nga naalala yung statement.
January 2025 po, sinabi ninyo, uupo kayo kasama ng ICC para malaman doon sa kanilang investigasyon ukol sa libo-libong pagpapatay ng drug war ni Presidente Duterte. Sabi mo, ayon sa report, na yung cooperation with an international tribunal ay pinapayagan sa ating batas. At yung ICC representatives have been going in and out of the country without any of us raising anything. January 2025 po.
Okay, yun po ang exchange of question and answer between Senator Amy Marcos and DOJ Secretary, si Secretary Remulla po, no? And klarong-klaro, it's very clear that sabi ni Secretary Remulla na may change of mind si President President Bongbong Marcos Jr. po. In other words, he changed his stand from no jurisdiction, and the Philippine government or his administration will not cooperate with the ICC po, no? And what happened now, nakita na natin lahat po that there was a change of mind. Kaya nga, that was the issue raised by Senator Amy Marcos po, no? During the hearing yesterday. Okay, let me share you another footage of the hearing, segment of the hearing po, wherein si Secretary Remulla is still talking and answering questions from Senator Amy Marcos. Amy Marcos, okay, nasaan na yun? Let's see, kung nasaan yon. Hold on, mayroon pa rin tayo dito po. 335 po. Let's listen to this, and kayo na bahala po.
Isipan, ngunit hindi po natin ginawa. Hindi po tayo nakiupo, hindi tayo nakipag-usap. Yun po yung malinaw sa lahat.
Pero handa kayo noon, ngunit hindi natuloy. Ganun po ba?
Marahil no, kung meron hong tutulay, pero wala naman hong tumuloy eh. Kaya wala hong nangyari.
Pero meron rin kayo sinabi that the ICC representatives as of January 2025 have been going in and out. Labas-pasok sila sa ating bansa. Hinahayaan lang natin.
Hindi ko po alam yung pagpasok at paglabas nila.
Meron po
Wala akong kaalaman sa pagpasok at paglabas. Marahil, sa kanila pag-iimbestiga, labas-pasok sila rito. Ngunit wala akong nagsasabi sa akin na ICC po yung labas-pasok dito. Wala pong report sa immigration. Wala po akong report sa ating
Kayo po nagsabi, kaya ako naalaman na may ICC representatives na labas-pasok dito sa ating bansa, na hindi tayo umaalma, hindi tayo nagre-reklamo. Yun na ang pagkasabi po ninyo eh.
Sabi nga namin dati pa, kung wala ho silang nilalabag na batas, ay malaya po silang maglabas-pasok sa ating bansa. Katulad po ng kahit sino pang turista o sino pong nais bumisita sa ating bansa.
Iba po yung pakay ng turista, iba naman yata ang pakay ng kinatawan ng ICC. So, nag-iba na talaga. Sa bandang January ng 2025, hinayaan na natin sila na lumabas-pasok dito sa ating bansa. Ganun po ba?
Hindi po wala tayong hinahayaan, hindi lang po tayo nagtatanong kung hindi natin tinatanong ang lahat ng labas-pasok dito kung sila po yung ICC.
Pero
Kasi nga, sa dami po ng labas-pasok sa atin, hindi po natin tinatanong.
So hanggang Enero nitong taon, talagang maliwanag na labas-pasok na yung mga ICC, ano?
Hindi ko po alam eh. Wala pa akong personal knowledge. I can only speak from personal knowledge.
Narito kasi sa Philippine Star at sinabi na I know that as anecdotally from people I know from the human rights community, they've been in contact here.
May mga nagkikwento po na may kausap silang ICC.
So alam mo ninyo. Kasi sabi mo in-identify pa ninyo yung source. Sabi ninyo yung human rights people, nagko-contact
Oo nga, oo.
usap na. Di alam na ninyo na nandito na yung ICC.
Ay, hindi ko nalalaman kung nandun sila. Sinasabi lang nila, may kausap sila. Hindi yung sinasabi ko saan sila nag-usap at paano. Pero, siyempre marami kong gustong tumulay. Ngunit hindi naman natin, hindi ko nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na makilala talaga namin na ICC o makaharap. Kahit kailan pa hindi namin nakaharap ang ICC.
Pero alam ninyo na may galaw na sila at nag-iimbestiga na sila.
7 taon na po silang gumagalaw, ma'am. 7 taon na. Hindi naman ngayon lang yan eh. 7 years ago, the ICC was already investigating what happened during the drug war.
What happened 7 years ago? Parang nahinto eh. Bakit sinabi natin na hindi na tayo
Yun lang po yung aking recollection kung kailan sila nagsimula. Na parang 2016 nga, baka 9 years ago pa. Sinimulan na po nilang bantayan ang ating drug watch, yung ating drug war, nung nasimula po yung patayan.
Pero mga
Okay, yun po ang question and answer again of Secretary Remulla and the chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs po, si Senator Amy Marcos. And kayo na po maghusga po, no? Ang mga sagot ni Secretary Remulla po, no? And yes, obviously he has been, sabihin natin, defending talaga po kay Bongbong Marcos po ang administration ni Marcos Jr. when it comes to this issue. Okay, another footage that I'm going to show you is ang mga sagot ni Secretary Anyos po, no? And he gave, if I'm not mistaken, he gave this opening remarks na po during the hearing. And let's listen to the opening remarks or speech of Secretary Anyo po during the committee or Senate committee hearing yesterday po dyan sa Maynila. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
I'd like to start by thanking the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, chaired by Senator Amy R. Marcos, for the opportunity to clarify the truth about what transpired during the arrest of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and other related matters. I believe this is also a good venue for me and my fellow officials to clarify what really happened and to debunk and dispel the false accusations and fake narratives that have misled the public about this issue. As government officials, it is our duty to be truthful and to assure the public that our actions were proper and in accordance with the law. I, for one, have been the victim of relentless disinformation campaign aimed at destroying the integrity and credibility I have carefully built over 4 decades of public service, which began the day I entered the hallowed halls of the Philippine Military Academy. While public officials are not supposed to be thin-skinned, I have rolled with the punches for several days. However, the time has come for me to air my side. Therefore, I am grateful for the opportunity to speak before the Senate and present the truth. As a former member of the cabinet of the Duterte administration, it is also very hard for me to see the former president arrested. I worked closely with former President Duterte for so many years through the most serious crisis the country faced, and we have developed and nurtured a personal friendship. He trusted and respected me in the same way I trusted and respected him, even after our terms ended in 2022. I retired from public service when former President Duterte ended his term. However, the repeated calls for public service came again, and 6 months after my retirement, I was appointed by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to be his National Security Advisor. I saw my appointment as a continuation of my service to the Filipino people across different administrations. As a soldier, my loyalty has always been to the Constitution and the chain of command. This has always been my principle when I served as the Commanding General of the Philippine Army under President Noynoy Aquino, then as AP Chief of Staff, and later as Secretary of the Department of Interior and Local Government under President Duterte,
and now as National Security Advisor under President Marcos Jr. In its position, I have held under several administrations. I have never played politics. I do not have a political agenda, nor do I have or will I ever have political ambitions. I uphold the same principle in my role as National Security Advisor and Director General of the National Security Council. Thus, I'd like to state for the record that my role was limited to the mandate of my office to assess that the situation does not escalate into a national security concern. The implementation of the ICC warrant is beyond my mandate, and I have no part in it. I may also state for the record that I am not aware of any core group, nor am I a member of such group that allegedly planned and prepared for the arrest of former President Duterte. In fact, it was only on Tuesday morning, March 11, 2025, that I learned that there was already an Interpol red notice and that the ICC warrant of arrest would be served. There was also no intelligence operation. The former president's presence in Hong Kong, as well as his return to the country, was a public knowledge since it was heavily reported in both mainstream and social media. It is utterly unacceptable and unfair that my name is being dragged into an alleged grand conspiracy. I firmly deny any allegations of a grand conspiracy. In fact, the events in March 11 were spontaneous. As National Security Advisor, I was merely doing my job. However, I face all these accusations against my honor and integrity with firm resolve, knowing that I am on the side of the truth and I was simply doing what I had to do. And in doing so, I upheld the truth, justice, and the rule of the law. Again, my loyalty is always to the country, to the Constitution, and not to any person. Thank you.
Okay, yan po ang opening speech ni Anyos po, no? Secretary Anyos po. And it was held, dyan po, he made that manifestation or his speech during the, sabihin natin, Senate Committee hearing on Foreign Affairs po, and which is headed by no less than Senator Amy Marcos, who happens to be the elder sister of our incumbent President, Bongbong Marcos Jr. po. Nandiyan po, narinig ninyo po kung what is happening sa, or what happened during the hearing po. And kayo po maghusga, no? Kayo nang bahala po. What I'm doing is I will be sharing only sa inyo ang mga footages or video clips that I managed to record and now sharing it to you. But before going any further, I would like to say also, shoutout muna tayo kay Roy Tanagon, who is also watching my program po dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today is March 21st and it is already Friday. Thanks God, it's Friday. Buenas tardes, hermano. Buenas tardes también contigo, Roy Tanagon, who is my classmate during the high school days. Alright, let's move on po. Let's move on. This time around, I'm going to share with you a clipping, a video clip. And we have this Senator Cayetano. Senator Cayetano po. He also spoke during the hearing po, Senate hearing yesterday dyan po sa Senado. Si Alan Peter Cayetano. Let's listen to this po. Let's listen to this. And nandito po.
That if there's conflict between international law and our constitution will prevail. Yes, Your Honor, that's the doctrine of constitutional supremacy. You agree, SOJ? No? Yeah. If there's conflict, di ba? Kasi sinabi naman sa Constitution that international law forms part of the land of the law. So if there's no conflict, wala tayong problema. Okay? So having said that, one of the fundamental or yung anchors or foundations of the Philippine Constitution, also from the U.S. Constitution, is Section 1 of the Bill of Rights, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied equal protection of law. Agree, sir? Yes, you okay. So, when we arrest someone, we're depriving him of liberty. Yes, Your Honor. When we deport someone by virtue of a warrant arrest, let's say like in the case of Congressman Mark Jimenez extradition with the U.S., we're depriving him of liberty. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. So when we, I don't know, alleged lawful arrest, let me just use it that way while we're determining of former President Duterte and then putting him to a plane to, hey, we deprived him of liberty. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. So the next question, was he given due process? So ang sinasabi po ng government, there are two ways, extradition or surrender. Yes. Okay. And tama po ba, this law that we're invoking now was passed before we ratified yung ICC? Yes. This law was prior to the ICC, no? Judicial Notice. Republic Act 9851. No? I mentioned that because in the interpellation of, I think it was Senator Gordon and Senator Loren and then meron din Senator Miriam, it was made clear doon na kailangan magpasan pa ng ibang legislation for the pag mag-a-arrest. Ayan, no, Senator Legarda, so even if the executive ratifies it and we concur in its ratification and we pass this proposed measure that we are contemplating now, is it not enough to implement the Rome Statute? Mali lang yung records, wrong statute nakalagay. Pero mukhang tama din na wrong talaga. Pero Rome Statute dapat to. Okay. Senator Gordon, yes, it is just like the VFA all over again. It is not enough, Mr. President, because there will be...
Alright, yun po, si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Yan po, ang statement niya po, he participated in the hearing ng Committee on Foreign Affairs, which is headed again by Senator Amy Marcos. Now, would you like to hear also a portion dyan po sa hearing tungkol ang statement din ni PNP, Philippine National Police Chief, si Marbil. Si Marbil po, nandito po. I will share this thing to you and kayo na po, bahala po. And of course, don't forget, there will be more footages or video clips I'm going to share with you po regarding itong sabihin natin ang Senate hearing po yesterday. And of course, mayroon din tayo ngayon, later on, I will share with you po ang main topic natin po, no? Wherein si Inday Sara Duterte, the daughter of Tatay Digong, who is now under the custody of the ICC or International Criminal Court po, wherein he said, mahirap na po ibalik si Tatay Digong sa Pilipinas. Move on na tayo. But before giving you that, ang statement ni Inday Sara Duterte, I will share with you itong footage po wherein it also involves ang statement ni PNP Chief, si Marbil po. Si Marbil. Alright, saan na yun? Let me, ano ba yun? Ang cue natin dito is 316. Saan na yun 316? Nandito po. Let's listen to this po. Amy Marcos and PNP Chief Marbil po. Marbil. Hold on. Nandito. Let's listen to this. Hold on, ha? Saan na yun? Okay. Ito po. Hold on. Hold on, ha? Okay. Alright.
Ito po talaga ginagawa namin. Kami ako pong request ang PCTC Interpol. We act po doon sa kanila po. Ano po yung request ng PCTC Interpol?
Maraming salamat, General Marbil. At Interpol ang binabanggit na natin ngayon, ano? So, yung Interpol, ang Pilipinas ay isa sa founding member. Isa tayo sa nanguna sa pagtatatag ng Interpol noong 1952. Interpol's purpose is to facilitate cooperation and assist member nations, no? So, crime information sharing, investigative support, specialized training, transnational crimes in particular are the focus of this agency, and this comprise terrorism, cybercrime, organized crime, financial crime, and anti-corruption. And to ensure that it is not used for persecution, in its constitution, the Interpol has Article 3 providing that it's strictly forbidden for the organization to undertake any intervention or activities of a political, military, religious or racial character. So maliwanag yan sa Interpol, hindi sila manghihimasok sa politika at sa domestic affairs ng isang bansa. Ngayon, eto na yung press con ng ating Pangulo noong March 11 ng 2025 at sinabi niya, andito yata yan, it's a request of the Philippine government from Interpol. And to enforce the arrest warrant, and of course we comply with our commitments to Interpol. We did not do this because it was derived or it came from ICC, but rather from Interpol. Because they asked us, we have commitments to them. We live up to those commitments. I don't think we violated the country's sovereignty. Bakit naman? Dahil consistent naman tayo, hindi tayo tumutulong sa investigasyon ng ICC. Wala tayong meron contact, pero not on an official level. We did not help them in any way. The arrest we did today was in compliance. Ayan, mabasa ninyo. Was in compliance with the commitment to Interpol at hindi yung ICC. Hindi natin kinakausap ang ICC, marami silang hinihingi sa atin ng mga dokumento, wala kaming binibigay. Yun lamang, hindi natin mahindian ang Interpol. So kung may duda sa ating pakikibahagi sa ICC, ang sinasabi ng Pangulo, ang ating commitment, obligasyon sa Interpol ay maliwanag at walang duda. So, ang sinasabi natin, kailan ba natanggap ng gobyerno na yung ICC naglabas na ng warrant of arrest laban kay Presidente PRRD?
At alas 6 ka ng umaga. Yun ang pagkakaalam kong yan.
So, hindi,
March 11.
no inkling before, may marites lang. Sabi,
Marites lang po. Marami hong, ilang taon na po yung sinasabi na may lalabas sa warrant of arrest. Ngunit, ngayon lang ho talaga lumabas. March.
Okay, yan po. Regarding itong issue ng warrant of arrest kay Tatay Digong, ay Tatay Digong po. Okay, the next footage that I'm going to share with you, video footage that I'm going to share with you, tungkol si Amy Marcos was asking to be clarified itong issue na red notice po, warrant of arrest and the red notice. Red notice po. Let's listen to this footage. Let's listen to this footage po. Hold on, ha? Ang cue natin is red notice 338. Sana yung 338? Tingnan natin. Ang 338. Hold on, ha? 338. Hold on. 338. Okay, nandito po. Let's listen to this.
tawag na red notice. Iyon ba ang
Hold on. Nandito po. Let's listen to this. Hold on. Sandali. Start tayo sa beginning. Red notice. Okay.
tawag na red notice? Iyon ba ang pinadala ng Interpol Executive Director Alcantara? Kasi ang binanggit mo ngayon, diffusion.
Ang dumating po sa atin ay isang diffusion, isang commonly tinatawag na red diffusion.
Teka, ang pagkaalam ko, iba ang notice at iba ang diffusion. Iklaro po ninyo, alin na natanggap?
Ipapaliwanag ko po, ang red notice po ay a request for international police cooperation that has been applied for by a member country or entity that are distributed to every member of the organization.
Opo, alam natin yon.
Okay.
Pero ang sabi kanina, red notice ang natanggap. Ngayon ang sinasabi mo, hindi red notice, kundi diffusion lamang.
Tama po.
Alin ba talaga?
Diffusion po.
Walang red notice.
Nagkakaroon po ang general public or everybody ng...
Pero alam natin na hindi magkapareho yun.
It's equivalent po to a from an entity or another member country that is directed to another member country.
Tama,
or several
oo.
countries. Yung po ang pagkakaiba.
Sa member to member,
Opo.
it's an unverified report requesting for information, humihingi lang, makikipakilang sa kapwa member na kung maaari, tulungan ninyo kami. Pero hindi siya verified, hindi siya dumadaan sa kanilang commissioner, hindi siya pinopost sa website katulad ng Red Notice.
But
Tama po
it
ba?
went through the police of the organization's police database. Pumasok din po yun sa database.
Pumasok sa database for unverified. Maliwanag siya, di ba?
Papanawagan po na
So, hindi po red notice ang natanggap, tama?
diffusion po. A red diffusion.
Diffusion.
And more technical po, it's a wanted person diffusion.
Tama.
More technical.
So, walang red notice. Kapag walang pag-diffusion lang, ang pagkaintindi natin, humingi lang ng impormasyon, di ba?
Hindi po. Meron po tinatawag na red diffusion, blue diffusion.
Oo, maraming kulay yun eh.
Yung sinasabi po niyo na humihingi lang ng impormasyon is blue diffusion.
Okay, may kulay ba ito? Yung pinadala sa atin, anong kulay ng diffusion?
Ito po ay wanted person diffusion.
So, walang red notice.
Hindi po siya red notice.
Nakatanggap ba tayo ng red notice at any point?
Itong pong wanted person diffusion na to, pagpasok po sa Interpol sa Leon, pa-process po ng notices and diffusion.
Opo, alam po natin yon. Alam natin yung procedure.
ang kasunod po
Madalas
nun,
na natin ginawa yan eh.
Kasunod po nun, mag-i-issue sila ng red notice. But this
Teka.
time, dahil po may urgency, they decided na it will go through by
So, lumundag na tayo mula sa diffusion, hindi man lang na-confirm, hindi man lang napagtibayan, hindi man lang nadaan sa commissioner nila, hindi man lang nailagay sa website o naging opisyal, lumundag na po tayo. Sa diffusion pa lang yan, oh. Hindi
Okay po, yun po, no? Hindi, red notice, galing sa Interpol, it was only a diffusion po. And klarong-klaro ang explanation po ni Senator Amy Marcos po, and she really wants to find out kung may legal ba yun of arresting and handing over si Tatay Digong dyan po sa ICC o sa International Criminal Court po. So, klaro-klaro. At saka kayo nang bahala, no? Maghusga. No? Kayo nang bahala maghusga. Okay, this time around, I want to share you itong footage referring to question and answer of Senator Jinggoy Estrada and CIDG chief, si General Nicolas Torre. And you know who is Nicolas Torre po. Siya yun ang in charge operation of the KOJ, Kingdom of KOJ, no? Kingdom of Jesus, Kingdom of Jesus yung kay Kibuloy. And at the same time, siya yun po nag in charge sa operation to execute ang warrant of arrest to Tatay Digong po last March 11 po, upon the arrival si Digong from Hong Kong. He arrived in Manila, and from then onwards he was arrested, and in the evening flew him to Netherlands to be handed over to the International Criminal Court po. Okay. So nandito po ang question ni Senator Jinggoy Estrada po, of which he claimed also, or he said that he's not happy, and disappointed din po the manner General Nicolas executed itong bringing in or handing over ang si Tatay Digong po to ICC dyan po sa Netherlands. Let's listen to this po, no? Let's listen to this, and kayo po, listen carefully, at saka kayo nang bahala po magbusga, ha? Hold on, nandito po. Hold on, ha? Give me a minute. Seconds na lang, wag na minutes. Medyo mahaba konti ito po, but mabuti yun po if you listen to this. You listen to this. Sandali po, ha? Okay, you listen to this.
In the video, no?
Ay, sabi ni PRRD,
abogada siya. At ang sinabi mo, hindi ko siya papapasukin. Why not, Gerald Torre?
That is a decision, that is my call, sir. That is my decision, considering that he had already been assisted by 3 lawyers all throughout that time, sir. And gabi na po yun, sir. The request was made at around mga 9 o'clock na, sir. 11 hours
Gerald
after
Torre, ganito,
the first arrest.
Tanggalin mo na yung titulo ni Daisara. Kalimutan mo na siya na Vice President siya. Pagpalagay natin hindi siya Vice President. She is an immediate member of the family. Nung kami po ay nakakulong, ang immediate members of the family, 24 hours pwede bumisita sa amin, nakakulong kami. Ito hindi pa nakakulong. Anak ito. Bakit hindi niya pinapasok?
Maliban doon, is this not a violation of RA 7438 that requires that you guarantee access to an attorney? In addition to the immediate family, the President also said na yung anak niya, yung babae, abogado ko yun, papasukin nyo. Hindi nyo pinapasok. Abogado yun eh.
Actually, sir, first to answer the question of Senator Estrada, sir, I have told the President that they can visit him at his detention facility because at this time, the order of the day is to load him into a plane. So that's what we endeavored to do, and that's what happened, sir.
Ano niya bibisitahin yung tatay niya sa Netherlands? Hindi naman dito tinray eh. Hindi naman dito kinasuhan eh. Sa ibang bansa eh. Oh, bakit hindi niya man lang binigyan ng kortesiya yung anak na isang abogada na magkukonsulta? Katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, yung mga nakakulong nga, 24 hours pwede bumisita ang immediate members of the family. Bakit ito hindi pa rin nakakulong, hindi niya pinapasok yung anak?
Our mission at that time, sir, is to deliver him to the
My God.
body
Kahit
who issued the
ano
warrant,
mangyari,
sir.
nasa batas yan. Nasa batas yan, General. Immediate members of the family, lawyers, priests, etc., etc. I should know. Nanggaling ako dyan. Tapos ito, hindi naman nakakulong. Again, I am not defending President Duterte. I'm just explaining the rights of an accused. Because naging akusado rin ako. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. Dapat naman nagbigay kayo ng konting kortesiya o respeto man lang sa mga dating presidente dahil naranasan namin yan. Nung kinulong po yung tatay ko, ganun din. So walang respeto ang mga polis sa amin. Porket nawala na ba kami sa kapangyarihan, ganun na lang. Matanong ko naman siya, General, wag naman po sana mangyari, God forbid. Sa pag sinapit ng ni President, pag sumapit ng ganitong sitwasyon si Presidente Marcos, gagawin mo rin ba yun? Sa kanya? I hope not.
Ang liwanag po ng batas, kung ma-follow up ko lang si Senator Jinggoy, tama po siya. Hindi lang yung immediate family, medical doctor, pare or religious minister, any national non-government organization ng CHR, international non-government accredited by the Office of the President. Lahat yan may access, pero pinagbawalan ninyo. On 2 counts, immediate family na, abogado pa niya. Bakit ganun?
Ma'am, I think that's sub judice. I think we should be wary of many of the things you're mentioning.
Bakit po naging sub judice yun?
Ito kasi, habeas corpus po ang petition. So everything about the arrest will be asked by the Supreme Court.
Kanina pa natin po nag-uusapan yung arrest.
Pero I think that we're trespassing, parang lumalapos na po tayo sa boundary.
Senator Jinggoy, pa?
Ang sinasabi ko lang, the manner on how the former president was arrested, because ayoko naman mangyari sa darating na panahon na magkakaroon na naman tayo ng ganyan. Sana makapagbigay lang ng korting kortesiya man lang, nakausapin yung mga abogado, pero nakausapin yung mga members ng immediate family niya, sana naman binigyan niya ng pagkakataon. Kaso mo, nung nakiusap si dating Pangulong Duterte na papasugin yung kanyang anak na abogada, tanggalin mo na hindi siya, na vice presidente siya. Abogada at anak niya, member ng immediate family, isinakay sa plano.
Correct po. Correct. Totally correct. And si General Nicolas Torre was not able to answer the question and pumasok na po to rescue him si Secretary, DOJ Secretary, si Remulla po, no? And yes, does it mean that, nagsabi na si General Nicolas Torre is just following order. Ang order niya is to arrest and send si Tatay Digong sa Netherlands or sa ICC po, no? But it doesn't mean that you would do that at the expense of violating the rights of Tatay Digong po, no? You have to follow also ang Constitution, ang laws natin dito po sa Pilipinas o dyan sa Pilipinas po, ha? So blindly, I don't know what happened, and for me, it's obvious talaga po na ang purpose nila po was to remove Tatay Digong from the Philippines po dahil po nakikita na nila po na it's a big threat to them na si Tatay Digong and ang possibility of Inday Sara Duterte to be a candidate for president come 2028. So as early as now, they want to delete ang pangalan niya ng mga Duterte po para wala na silang problema sa 2028 presidential election po. Yun po, that's how I look at it. Kayo po, how do you look at it po? How do you look at it? Do you agree with the manner Tatay Digong was arrested and sent to Netherlands po? Ang mga action taken by Nicolas or General Nicolas Torre po, no? Yun po ang issue. And karamihan ng mga Pilipino po, they are not happy with how ang manner arrested or serve ang warrant of arrest to Tatay Digong and subsequently brought to Netherlands and gave Tatay Digong sa custody ng ICC po or International Criminal Court. Ayan po. Kayo na bahala po maghusga, and what I'm doing now is I'm just sharing you what transpired during the Senate Committee hearing on Foreign Affairs po, which is headed by Senator Amy Marcos. Okay, this time around, I will share with you ang mensahe ni sabihin natin na Inday Sara Duterte po regarding itong issue na pwede pa ibalik ba si Tatay Digong po sa Pilipinas, kasi karamihan ng mga tao dito po dyan po sa Pilipinas and dito din po sa Malaysia, particularly dito sa Sabah po, we have been shouting to bring home si Tatay Digong dyan sa Pilipinas. Is it possible or it is not possible? Nandito po. Kaya nga sabi nga ni Secretary Remulla na it has been done already. Nandyan na po. Hindi na pwede. Kasi under the custody ng ICC si Tatay Digong na po. So let's listen to this po. Ang mensahe, ang remarks ni Inday Sara Duterte po. Let's listen to this. You hold on, ha? Hold on. Okay, sandali. Okay, sandali. Okay. Saan tayo? 1, 3. Hold on, ha? Sana. Hold on. Okay, give me a minute or two. Hold on. Nandito na po.
At all. Kasi pointless naman na mag-harbor ako ng feelings about what happened. Hindi na siya maibabalik. Hindi na mababalik si Pangulong Duterte sa Pilipinas. So what we should do as a country is move on from what happened. No? What will we do as our ways forward as a country and as a people from what happened? Magaling galit man tayo, walang papupuntahan yung galit natin. So, we should move forward from what happened. And the country should decide, the people should decide saan ba tayo papunta base sa nangyari. The Philippine government is working with the ICC in making sure that the president stays in detention. So, huwag na lang natin pag-usapan kung ano yung mga pwedeng gawin. Pero, merong very limited ang options, pero meron.
Asked how she is, the Vice President says she's doing fine.
Alright, yun po, si Inday Sara Duterte po, no? Inday Sara Duterte. Nandito pa po, another footage I would like to share with you po. Nandito pa, isa pa. Ano yun? 257. Saan yun? 257. 257. Let's listen to this po. 257. Let's listen to this. Hold on. Sandali lang ha. 257. Saan kayo? 257. 257. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Actually, oo. Dahil yung buong bansa natin, we already lost a former president. So, late na tayo. Kaya nga, sinabi ko kanina, kung hindi ko lang maalala kung nasabi ko ba, pero ways forward na lang tayo. Unang-una, sino ang mananagot? But we don't expect na merong pagpananutin. Pangalawa, anong gagawin natin as a country, as a nation, moving forward? May darating na eleksyon. Ano ba dapat natin gawin dyan? Ang gusto ng lahat, pagbabago. So, meron tayong option na 10 senador at meron pa tayong daming tanong sa nangyari sa ating budget sa ngayon. No? Public funds is expended in a constitutionally infirm document. So, ano bang gagawin ng bansa? Ituloy natin ang demand natin for transparency, accountability, peace and security para sa ating bayan.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Also, I just want to ask you regarding the defense because po na-interview si Attorney Kaufman and he said he's very confident that he can, the case can be speedily dismissed. Do you share that sentiment and where do you think is he coming from?
It is best if you ask him to elaborate on his answers. Pero, alam niya naman, as a relative, no, as a Filipino citizen, matagal na ang isang araw. Matagal na sa atin ang 2 araw. Pero for lawyers, alam mo, meron yan silang sarili nilang mga timelines, no? Kung paano yung proseso sa loob ng korte. But as a relative, as a daughter, I just feel na, and as a citizen, as a Filipino citizen, masyado na matagal lang isang araw.
Ma'am, one last question. I don't want to sound cheesy, but it has been a heavy week. And I think my last question would be, how are you?
I'm okay. Surprisingly, I'm okay. Wala naman akong nararamdaman na wala akong nararamdaman. So, on that point, I don't think I'm okay. Wala.
Okay, yun po si Vice President Inday Sara during a press conference po yesterday po, no? So, yun ang mga statement ni Inday Sara Duterte. But earlier, before the press conference po, she participated dyan po sa Senate Committee hearing po ng Foreign Affairs, which is headed again, just to remind you, spearheaded by the elder sister of President Bongbong Marcos po, si Senator Amy Marcos po. And she mentioned something about the communication between herself and Bongbong Marcos Jr. po, no? Regarding the issue of ICC po, no? Having jurisdiction dyan sa Pilipinas po. And let's listen to this. I think this will be my final footage po. And let's listen to this first. Okay? You hold on, ha? 142. Sana yun 142. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
To your letter of 4 December 2023, as well as similar letters sent to members of the cabinet, namely Secretary Jesus Crispin C.
Aha, hold on, ha? Hold on. Medyo, tayo, sandali po, sandali. Okay? Hold on. I will play this again para at least you will know. Listen carefully po.
This is reference to your letter of 4 December 2023, as well as similar letters sent to members of the cabinet, namely Secretary Jesus Crispin C. Remulla of the Department of Justice and Solicitor General Menardo Guevara on even date, with respect to your concerns, legal or otherwise, on the investigation to be conducted by the ICC into the previous administration's war on drugs. I remain steadfast in my resolve that the jurisdiction of the ICC over the Philippines after the effectivity of its withdrawal therefrom is very much in question. To this end, this government will not assist the ICC in any way, shape, or form. I am certain that all the members of my cabinet, including yourself, will echo my views on this matter. As it is my sworn duty, I will continue to defend and assert the sovereignty of the Republic of the Philippines at all times. Ngayon, naririnig ko po, sinasabi ng ating Secretary of Justice na mabibigyan siya ng panahon na makasagot sa loob ng ICC. And that is clearly the Philippine government's position that there is cooperation with the ICC. So, kinikilala nilang ngayon yung jurisdiction ng ICC na wala naman kasi talaga. Because this is an extraordinary case of extraordinary rendition.
Okay, yan po ang statement ni Inday Sara, Vice President Inday Sara Duterte po, no? Aha, so, klarong-klaro po. She was saying earlier, she got a letter from President Bongbong Marcos. Si Bongbong Marcos is claiming that, he will not allow ang ICC to come and have any jurisdiction dito po sa Pilipinas or dyan po sa Pilipinas. And what happened now po? He changed his mind. Obviously, he changed his mind for reasons that you and me knows po. You know, I know la. You know, I know la. So, yun po. Sabihin natin mga latest updates regarding itong issue ni Tatay Digong po. As what si Vice President was saying, mahirapan na po ibalik si Tatay Digong. It's a very, very sad news po. Sad news for us sa mga Filipinos, particularly those who are supporting itong si Tatay Digong. Sino ba ito? Si Legis Belacora RM. Deberasan po ba na hindi na siya bira ulit? Okay. Yes, according to BP Sara, medyo mahirap na po. No? Medyo mahirap na po. And move forward na daw tayo. Life must go on. No? Move forward na tayo po. Kasi under the custody na si Digong dyan po sa ICC po. No? And we also heard, narinig din natin po yung mga statement ni Secretary Remulla. I think 1 or 2 days ago, sabi niya po, it is already done. Nandoon na si Tatay Digong po, si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte under the custody of sabihin natin, ng ICC, no? ICC. On the issue naman, no? On the issue naman whether illegal ang nakidnap kay Tatay Digong po, papunta and brought him sa Netherlands or dyan sa ICC po, no? I was made to understand, and based on the news that I managed to garner, to get, na walang pakialam po ang ICC po, maskin how you got this person in question, po, how you got him from or arrested him from his country, his or her country, walang pakialam ang ICC po, no? Walang pakialam. Dahil po, it is ang gobyerno ng that particular country who arrested or brought this particular person sa ICC. Ang role lang, ang concern lang ng ICC is that nandito ka, we are going to conduct the probe or investigation, see whether you are guilty or not guilty po. How you came to the ICC, they are not bothered po. Kaya nga, with that kind of explanation po, ako din I believe na mahirap na po. Si Tatay Digong will be returned back to the Philippines as soon as possible or earlier than expected po. No? Although, ang counsel ni Tatay Digong dyan sa ICC po, already mentioned or said that there is a great possibility that he will be sent back to the Philippines po. Kasi maganda daw or matibay daw ang depensa ni Nicholas Kaufman, no? Ang lead counsel ni Tatay Digong. Akala ko po kasi kasi sir, dito sa Pilipinas mag-celebrate ng birthday niya po. No. Yes, Tatay Digong will be celebrating his birthday on March 28 po, no? Next week. And yeah, don't be disappointed lang po, no? If he won't be able to be with us or be with you dyan po sa Pilipinas on his 80th birthday po. Because no less than ang daughter niya, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte po, siya na mismo nagsabi kahapon na mahirap po ibalik agad si Tatay Digong. So what Inday Sara was saying is move on na lang tayo and they will try to do their level best to make sure that they will win in this case po, no, dyan sa ICC. And of course, narinig natin na maraming din mga Filipinos will be celebrating ang birthday ni Digong on March 28. Let us celebrate and let us show our gratitude to Tatay Digong po for what he has done for you and me, entire Philippine nation po, when he was the President of the Philippines po, 2016 hanggang middle of 2022 po. So, yan po. Madam Legis Bella Cora, RM, yan po, no? SL explanation que ya pwede nga kita saka and ahora así kita pasa contigo el por qué hindi pwede or ang posibilidad na si Didong Tatay Digong celebrate suyo compleanyo ala po na ICC or sa Netherlands po. So let's continue to pray for his safety and health kasi alam na natin po, nakita natin sa TV na si Tatay Digong medyo mahinatan po because of his age. He's turning 80 po, no? But with God's intervention, with our prayers po, no, I think we will be able to sabihin natin, inspiring po, despite ang mga hurdles sa buhay niya po is facing now. Huwag natin kalimutan po to pray for his safety and health and other aspect in his life, no? Habang nandyan po siya sa custody ng ICC or International Criminal Court. Ganon yun po. Ganon yun po. So, siguro hanggang dito na lang ang Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And of course, I will continue to update you po mga latest developments, ang political activities dyan sa Pilipinas. No? Dyan sa Pilipinas, especially ang mga issues related to Tatay Digong. Before I will conclude, I would like to announce again that the planned prayer rally or a prayer gathering for Tatay Digong dito po sa Kota Kinabalu City, dito sa Sabah East, Malaysia po, has been cancelled according to the organizers, which they informed me last night. No? Dumating na ako dito po. Nandito ako ngayon sa Kota Kinabalu from Kuala Lumpur. That's the reason why I was not able to do or to update sa inyo po, mga followers ko po dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, dahil po I was traveling yesterday and pagdating ako dito sa KK, may konting meeting tayo po. And at the same time, napagod na tayo. So, I miss the opportunity to do my vlogging para sa inyo yesterday. 1,000 apology, and I hope you will accept my apology. So with this, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I love you and see you tomorrow. Bye.